Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. As promised to you today, that I was going to be coming to you all to allow the voters, which are you, to go ahead and weigh in on giving your closing arguments, or, of course, giving your thoughts on which candidate that you believe is your preferred candidate. You know, we've been talking a lot, allowing the candidates to come on to share their platform in terms of, why they're running, how they may serve you, that it be those that are running for city council down on the Osceola, excuse me, the Osceola end, or South County end, that is. Osceola have three candidates that is up for re-election, and they do have opposition. Their opposition, as I indicated, Ward 1 would be Mr. Quayle Cunningham going against Mrs. Linda Watson. And of course, Ward 2, there's three candidates in that race, which are, I can't shake this cough, Sally Parks, Mrs. Sally Parks, Mrs. Karen Russ, and Mrs. Sandra Brand, who's incoming. And of course, Ward 3, you have Mr. Brian Holthouse, and he's running against the incumbent, Mr. Tyler Dunnigan. Those are your city council races down on the south end. Of course, we don't have any opposition here for a city council on the north end of the county. For some apparent reason, no one chose to oppose the city council members up here in Blythe, Arkansas. But of course, again, today's show, I'm not going to be long. I thought that there was going to be one or two guests that wanted to come on. But since we don't have any guests, I'm just going to go ahead and let this segment be about you as the voters. If you care to speak on whatever change that you think your city, your county, or District 55 for that matter, then you can go ahead and elaborate. Of course, yes, I forget. And the only other race that is being contested is your state representative race. That'll be Mr. Gary Tobar. He's the candidate trying to unseat the incumbent Monty Hodges. Of course, I know I'm trying to see if my comment section on. I know it's pretty late, and I don't. How you doing? There we go. There we go. I didn't think. How you doing there, Mrs. Joanne Bell? My apology. I don't know whose show that was. I saw you on speaking with some lady. Pretty interesting show. If that's your show, congratulations. Didn't know if it was your show or the other lady's show. But again, you stay on the wall, and I really appreciate that, my sister. But anyway, since we know we got the comment section going on, I'm gonna make this real quick, and I want to say to Mrs. Bell, you used to live here in Blytheville, Arkansas, and so I can, if you wanna come on and speak to us, let me know. I'll shoot you the link. I'm pretty sure you know how to get on. And there go Mrs. Excuse me, can't shake this cough. Mrs. Catherine Turner. My sister sure wish you could have got your cell phone working there. But I'm gonna take a minute since you two done came on. And I see Miss Cannon, she done showed up. How you doing, Mrs. Cannon? And I'm gonna go ahead and send out this link to Sister Bell in case you wanna come on. So I may go away for a minute. You may not see me, but I'm going to shoot this link right quick to my sister, Mrs. Joanne Bell. And I'm getting ready to shoot this right now. Okay. So if you would, Miss Bell, you can uh, go ahead and uh, follow that link. Of course, uh, it's just as simply as you giving access to your camera and access to your mic. And afterwards, the show is over. Your information go back to you. Okay. So how's everybody doing? I'd like to see. I was a guest on her show. Oh, okay, okay. I know you do. I know you have something coming up. Lady, you stay on the wall. I know you do. You stay on the wall, and I appreciate you for your advocacy work. Um, um, advocating for women and young girls who may be going through some trying times. You stay on the wall, okay? Um, Mrs. Mrs. Turner, no inconvenient. I know where your heart was, uh, Miss Turner, and I knew that you did want to come on to speak. But I did read your post. I did read that to the audience before I concluded that last show. Uh, but anyway, you all, this show is simple. Um, Today, tomorrow's Super Tuesday, Election Day. That is the day. If you hadn't voted by now, please get out to vote tomorrow. Okay, please get out. Now, I want to say today. This show is about, I guess you can call it closing arguments. It is closing arguments as well. But let me go up here and try to pull up something where I can share with you all. Basically, what I wanted to do with this show here, I wanted to go ahead and extend this opportunity to everyone to go ahead and speak today of all the candidates that are in the race. That it be the city council race down in Osceola, that it be the races here in uh, well, not Blythe, but District 55 is what I'm trying to say. And so, but that is the name of this show today uh, that I'm going to be talking to you about in a little bit. It's on the ballot. You know, I stole that from President Obama back here last year when he was campaigning for certain officials. You know, I picked that slogan up from him. From him, it's on the ballot. Anything that may be of concern to you, that it be something with jobs, businesses, housing, healthcare, you name it, grocery stores, electricity. You need to know when all those things are dear to your heart, you need to be thinking when you go to cast your vote, it's on the ballot. Okay, that's what need to be ringing in your head. It's on the ballot. All right, but um, before we get started, speaking of how you doing there, Miss Williams? Before we get started, I want you all to think now. I'm going to show a quick little video. I hope I can show it. Let me turn my phone on to make sure that it's playing, because sometimes I can show a video. Sometimes I get audio and not get video. And sometimes I get video and not get audio. And so I'm going to turn this thing on right now. And hopefully, let me turn it down. And hopefully, as I begin to start playing it on the screen there, hopefully it will show up on my cell phone. I'm looking at it right now. And so anyway, I want to show you all a video right quick. All right. Now this video, we'll get to the Osceola in last. Okay. But right now we have the race that is going on for state representative between Monty Hodges and Gary Tobar. All right, they're running for state representative for District 55. All right, now me as a voter, I know I'm hosting this show as well. But one of the things that is dear to my heart is economics and criminal justice. I think you all know that. Uh, but I want to show you a videotape as it relates to economic. It's not long, probably lasts, who knows, a minute or two. But I want to show you this video of some development that continue to occur over in Jonesboro, Arkansas area. Okay? Jonesboro, Arkansas area is District 54. All right? We're District 55. District 54 is ran by Johnny Rye. Let me run this video for you all, and then you can tell me exactly, uh, give me your thoughts. As they say in the news world, uh, when I play this video, we'll talk about it on the other side. All right? How about that? So let's go ahead and pull up this video right now. I think I got it up here somewhere. That's the video. Hopefully, let me see if I can set my screen correct. Oh, I don't have it. Let me add it first. There we go. But this is a video of some money that continue to be released to the Jonesboro, Paragrove area. I will say the representation over there in that area, they are on the job when it comes to economics. But let me play this video for you real quickly. And as I say, we'll talk about it on the other side, all right? So let's go ahead and play it now.
Well, the city of Jonesboro now has $2.5 million in grants by the U.S. Economic Development Administration and the Delta Regional Authority. Well, Monet Stevens joins us live from downtown Jonesboro. So, Monet, what is this grant going to be used for?
Amanda, this $2.5 million grant will go towards the expansion of a railroad storage for industrial park manufacturers. Now, the money will be used to create 4 dead-end tracks, adding space to store 120 additional rail cars. This helps Jonesboro attract new company investment, and it also supports existing companies such as Nestle and Butterball by providing more capacity to support all their rail needs. The grant created over 100 jobs and retained over 400 jobs. I spoke to the executive director of East Arkansas Planning and Development District, and she says that Jonesboro is the best place for industrial growth.
If you look at Northeast Arkansas, you look at the Mid-South region, outside of Memphis, Jonesboro has the best opportunity and the most potential for industrial and logistical growth. To support this quadrant of the state and this part of our country.
All that, but I started today kind of thinking about my speech. And what I tell you, one thing I want to point out real quick. It is so nice.
The 4 new rail spurs are going to be a part of Jonesboro's master rail plan for during long-term purposes. Now, live in downtown Jonesboro, Monet Stevens for Region 8 News.
All right. That was the business that actually was taking place over in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm trying to get out of here. But anyway, that's the business that occurred over in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I think many of you heard the lady. She was talking about how Jonesboro, other than Memphis, Tennessee, is in better position for as to go ahead and kick out new development and all that. Now, Johnny Rye is the state representative of District 54, and so kudos to Johnny Rye for bringing home the bacon, shall I say, bringing home the cow for his district, his constituents of District 54. So that brings us here to District 55. Now, I think it's fair to say that development here in District 55, I think we have been in best position for the longest. Jonesboro trying to catch up. At one point, Jonesboro didn't even have an interstate, remember? We always have had the interstate 55. We have we can also transport and do business there at the river. Okay. We have a rail car system here in Mississippi County. And we also have the benefit of the airport out on base. And so Blytheville, Arkansas, that is within Mississippi County, we are in better position to provide any company who's thinking about relocating, or should I say locating, to a particular area that have all those amenities. Rail car, we have the interstate, we have the river, and we have the benefit of the airport out on base. And so the question becomes, why aren't we benefiting when it comes to development economically? Okay. See, that's what I want to talk to all the voters here in Blytheville, Arkansas, Mississippi County, District 54. I see we got my sister done Tony in there, Sister Bell. I'm going to be bringing you on in a little bit. You just sit tight there in the room. I do see you, okay? And so, anyway, I got a guest just popped on. I'm going to be bringing her on because I don't know what's her schedule looking like. Excuse me. I'm trying to get over here to see if I can see any other comments. But you all hold tight to my questionnaire over here. But as I was indicating, let me just have her just on set with me, okay? How you doing there, Sister Bell?
Hello.
All right, I just want you to just sit tight. I'm gonna leave you on screen here. I didn't want to just keep you sitting in the back stage room, all right?
All is well.
All right then. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the point to where we need to have somebody that can go to the state capitol to advocate, to give us some representation for our taxation. You know, you heard that thing where representation and no taxation. That's really what is going on here in Mississippi County, District 55. We are in better position to benefit, just like Jonesboro, just like the Paraguay area. That city has taken off like a fox. It used to be at one point that Blytheville and Jonesboro used to be somewhat similar in population. Okay. And we lost our air base. Thank God that a few of the steel mills came and relocated to where we became competitive again in terms of, job creation and job creation. Other companies located because of the steel mills. Okay. So I showed you all the video. You can see how new development is going on across other parts of the state of Arkansas, which leaves the question, what is our state representative doing for us? And that's why I come up with this slogan that when you go to the poll and walk inside that voting booth or walk up to the stand or whatever, you need to be thinking all those things as how you are affected, whether it's housing, whether it's economic, whether it's jobs, whether it's startup businesses, whether it's expansion of businesses. When you go in that booth to cast your vote, you need to be thinking it's on the ballot. So with that being said, I'm gonna cross over to my guest here and let her go ahead and tell us a little bit about some of the advocacy work she is the champion of in Little Rock, Arkansas. Speak, my sister Bell.
Hey, everybody. Once again, thank you for the opportunity. I heard the comment as far as saying that always Blytheville will always be my hometown. And with that being said, even though I've transitioned to a different county, different area, the mission is still the same. One of the things that I do like and I wanted to project is as far as it goes into how we facilitate and how we advocate for one another. I like the fact that when I go into a job at the end of the year, one of the things that they do is evaluations. And this evaluation is based on the work that I've done all year long. So everybody, not just my job, but everybody's job is put in a bowl. And if your work has exceeded your expectations, they give you a ballot, basically just a submission card saying, do you want to hold on to this position? I could transition to a new position. And if I haven't been sufficient in the job, what happens is they go over some of the deficiencies of the, the job descriptions, and then they go with some of the deficiencies, and then they tell me that they might not be pleased. And a lot of times the people will not go into saying, well, let me look at this candidate and see how he's run the system prior. Let's see what he's done, what he's brought in, what he's taken away, the things that he's adjusted, and things won't happen overnight. Now, the two candidates for back home, I am very familiar with. Personally, I like both of them, but professionally, we have to step out of our personal feelings when it comes to leadership, when it comes to advocacy. We have to look at, okay, is this person holding up? What are they doing? Will this person come in and be better? And I can't base that on this because, needless to say, whether this is a relative of mine or a best friend of mine, a church member of mine, oh, I've known this person for a long time, oh, he has a great smile, that is not going to get those things that you're looking for in your community brought into the community. So we have to be considerate. One of the questions as I became very familiar with the area here was a lot of people are not voicing their opinions because they're not registered to vote. One of the things, they're not registered to vote. And I did ask. I asked why. And guess what the number one concern was? Being called for jury duty. Well, if I register to vote, I got to, are you serious? No, now they can get your license if they want you for jury duty. So it's one of the other things, just basically for us to educate the people and allow them to understand how important this is. A lot of people are saying, even when it comes to the presidential candidates, that's not the only thing we have on the ballots. All right. As I submitted my vote this year, there were bills that were submitted on the ballots. Here we are in the city of Little Rock. I have to decide as a taxpayer, do I want to vote for bill, this bill, and submit my vote on this bill or that bill? Who I want to help as council? We have two different people that's running for council, for the seat of council. So therefore, who would be a better person for my district? So what we did was, my good friend and I, a sister friend, we didn't just go vote based on feelings. This year, we actually sat down because I'm in a very new area. I don't know anything about the candidates. I don't know what they represent. So when it came to even the Senate, Congress, different things of that nature, I needed to go see what have they done, not just last year. I wanted to see how they uphold themselves over the past 5 years. Because me personally, it takes people getting into office, and even me just going into a center director's position after someone held that seat for 20 years. I couldn't just go in and uproot a lot of things that have been in place. Because guess what? I wouldn't have been there a good year. So it's just
go ahead.
It's just making sure we sit down, evaluate the evidence, factual information, and present it and see which ways, what is best for us as a community overall, for your children, for your children's children. Because at the end of the day, if we're not analyzing data, what we're doing is actually compiling false accusations, and those false accusations gonna keep us down. And like for Blytheville has so much potential, but I remember, I don't know if you can think back, but I've been watching you and all the great work you've been doing for all the communities for a while. But it was even when you went into the library, Blytheville Public Library, and you began to show the deterioration of the wall. You began to show how the water damage was consuming the place. You went in and showed the files, and even then, no one paid attention. If they had paid attention to what you were saying, and a lot of times people get confused with the messenger, and they allow the messenger to distort them from the message. In all honesty, You're doing your due diligence and trying to help us be more effective in what we need to do as a whole. And people are not looking at that. And guess what? The library wouldn't have been in such a bad shape. The courthouse would be closing down. All these things were presented.
Yeah.
Because as
yeah. Well, it seemed like you really on the north I guess that's northwest end of the state. You really been paying a whole lot. I know you say this was home, but you really been paying a whole lot of attention of some of the things going on here in Blythe, Arkansas, as some of the people that actually live here. Now, you said something earlier about, one of the reasons why people vote for certain candidates is because it could be that they're friends, it could be that they're church members, relatives or what have you. Just last week, I don't know if you saw my Facebook Live, to where, this time of the year when we have these election cycles, we have family sometimes having strong disagreement as it relates to a particular candidate. We also have friends that have fallen out because they both were on different sides of the track in terms of a particular candidate. And I asked them to use common sense, because the candidates, let's face it, they in it for themselves. And if we out here arguing with each other and, threatening to do bodily harm to each other, believe it or not, I think you would agree that those candidates are not going to care 2 cents about what happened to us as we go through the criminal justice system. Now, so let me ask you, as it relates to friendship, do you think that, I know they're friends, but at the same time, do you think it's a lack of them being in knowledge of the issues? Just like I started this show, I started showing them about the development that's going over in Jonesboro, Arkansas, which is District 54, and we're District 55. Now, we live in the same district. We're seeing the same things every day. We're seeing the crumbling infrastructure. We're seeing how we got people who are completely yet still jobless. We see that there is money that's right there in Little Rock, Small Business Administration, which that money can benefit women and minorities. Women can get it like twofold. Number one, they're a woman, so that puts them in the minority class, as well as they are a Black individual. And so they get 2 bites at the apple. But why do you think that in some cases, voters refuse to be informed on the candidate record, and then you have that few that who are informed on the candidate record, but they yet still want to throw stones at you because you are speaking on the other candidate's record? Mind what I just said now. I said you're speaking on the candidate record, not speaking against the candidate. It's a difference.
You have evidence.
But speaking on the candidate's record, you're showing it, physically showing it. If there is any substance there, then we need to talk about it. So why do you think some of these individuals, they don't even care what the record is? They just prefer, well, for example, he's a Democrat and I'm gonna vote for him. Do you think that we should continue to vote for a person no matter if they're Black, white, or the Democrat or a Republican? Or do you think that we should vote for the candidate that is in best position, and that who have given us a message to where we need to give him or her a chance? Because right now, what we have now is not working. So what's your thoughts on this friendship stuff as it relates to upholding a candidate when you know that they're not bringing home the bacon?
A lot of times we would rather wash our hands of things instead of seeing it clean. We'd rather throw it away instead of, just making sure the trash has been taken out. And I'll say that, lightly. I'm not speaking on anyone in particular, and I'm not calling them trash, just for hypothetically speaking. What happens is, even if you and I are friends and you have a particular person in mind, and that particular person does not measure up to the person that I'm thinking about, it'll cause a conflict with you and I. Instead of both of us just saying we'll agree to disagree, we don't respect. Most times we're not respecting one another's belief. Here it is. And I'm just going to keep it real. I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. If you see my family tree for real, you'd be like, oh, wow, I see why not.
All right. All right.
But I respect people. And my concern is when all this with the presidential candidates came up, it's so much that was going on. However, my neighbor, who I truly love, I promise you, I love her children. Her husband is real good. I just love them. But she's a Caucasian woman. So what happened was we agreed because we could see the tension among our conversations. I don't know if she's going to vote for the Democrat, Republican. She don't know where I'm going to vote for it from. But where I voted from, because that vote has already been cast. But the process of it was we respectfully ceased to have communication on that topic because we valued our friendship. And so for me, it wasn't a hard conversation. But when I seen certain things happen, okay, we need to, let that go. So I respect her enough. I respect our relationship enough. And no matter how she votes, because here's the question that came up. I don't believe everybody that think, my belief. I don't believe that everybody and I'm just throwing this out here because we have two candidates, that everybody that votes for Trump, if they're not Caucasian, if they're Caucasian, I don't believe that they're racist. My belief on that right now is this, and I say it proudly, that even though you might not be racist, somewhere you got to be approving what he's doing. Even just seeing what happened yesterday, coming from Texas, and he used the word patriot. You commended them for terrorizing the Democratic Party. And so this is giving people free will to do and say certain things, where if that had been a Black Lives Matter thing, we would have been out of line. So
I agree.
It's certain ways that we have to analyze this. And it's sad that we just can't say this is how I feel and this is how I believe, and people respect it. Now, coming back to the friendship part, let me give you a good example for that. I pastored for years in the city of Blytheville. My mother and another lady was at the church. My mother was over the kitchen, and another mother was over the building fund. Now, I did not operate in their position, but what happened was they had a conflict of interest. This is my mama. She was upset, but in that position, she was not my mother. She was the mother of the church. So by them not being able to do this properly on their own, I discontinued both positions and say, both of y'all go sit down. Now, did that cause conflict with me and my mama after church? It did. But I was okay with that because I knew what was right. It was no right for me to stand up for my mother and cause conflict with the other mother, or vice versa. We analyzed what was going on. We took the evidence and presented it. And then I said, since you both can't, since y'all can't come to a resolution, I'll do it for you, because I had that authority. But when it comes to friendship, we would put up with a whole lot of mess in friendship before we just say, look, this is righteous. This ain't got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with us. And as leaders, we have to look at the overall concept of what my position is, who I represent. I don't represent just the people in my household. I represent, that district. I represent that community. And even when I advocate for women, men, children, I don't just advocate for that abuser. I'm even trying to find, even like now, I'm trying to find ways to help the abuse, the survivor. I want to help the abuser as well. So we're not bashing, and most of it is male, and I'm gonna use it as an example. I'm not bashing that man to help this woman. I want to make sure that if this man is seeking help as well, he get it, even though he caused this woman physical harm. If he's asking for help, and regardless of who it is, I have to be there.
Well, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
I agree with you on the analogies that you made in terms of your mom. Sometimes we have to make tough decisions, even if it mean going against our loved ones. And so I commend you for that. We pretty much done talked about the some of the things that need to occur here. I don't know how it's working down there in Little Rock, but we have small businesses here, some by women and very few, I imagine, are by men of color, which continue to struggle here in terms of getting our fair share of whatever funding that comes into Mississippi County. Most of it, I have to call it, like I said, is peanut money. It's no money they're going to have make some significant change, whether it's start a business or expanding a business. And so I wish I had the information. I don't have it now, but I understand that there is money that is being set aside every year. Like now, they're in the process of creating the budget. They're at the state of during Little Rock, state capital, what I'm talking about. So they're doing some of these same things too. And every year there's so many millions of dollars that is set to the side specifically for this, what I'm showing now, small businesses as it relates to women and other minorities, okay? But I don't feel like we getting the right information that's coming back to Mississippi County, District 55. We need to give more business seminars, especially if this money is going to be appropriated. Leading up to this point, I feel like we should have been in position to go for some of these dollars. Many of us don't even know how to write a business grant.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Many of us don't know how to research for grants. And so when we don't do those things, we try to get the money the quick way. And what I've seen here locally is that, they're running down to the credit union, or what are they running down to Southern Bancorp or some of the other banks here. And so they have to realize is that when you go to those financial institutions, that's money you got to pay back. I'm not saying that loans, shouldn't be considered, when you're reaching out to start or when you're going out to start your business or expanding your business. But I think it's smart to take advantage of those grant dollars that are out there, but we need that information to come back to Mississippi County. And that's one of the things that I've seen to where we have individuals that go into business. And I think it's a fair thing to say a small business, I think the life of it is like from 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And most of the time they go out of business because lack of capital or lack of business skills. And so what type of programs do you all have during Little Rock that, can bring back the information to their constituents and have them to be in better position to where they can benefit from some of these dollars? So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in Little Rock as it relates to funding that's set aside for women and other minorities?
One of the things here in the area is that when that information comes back from the House, Senate, or however it's being transitioned, the information as far as attending the meetings, and most of it has been done virtual. We did see at one point a few months ago that some of the information kind of almost skipped the platform, but blissfully someone's seen it, and so it was brought to those that was interested. It was put out there, and so those interested have the opportunity to attend these meetings. And so the information, one of the other things I like that the women had showed me here is that ask for a copy of the minutes. Find out how you can get those minutes downloaded. Review those minutes, because everything that's spoken in a meeting is not everything that's in the minutes is not spoken in the meeting. So, or they'll compile it to fit so they can say they went over that, but the minutes is totally different. And so we missed the deadline last year, but we on it this year. And so one of the things it's like set aside for, the women and minorities, is because there's a grant, if I'm not mistaken, like foster care. So just say if I decided to open up, I found a building that had 16 rooms and I wanted to create a organization to help bring in foster care children. There's money for that. There's money laying aside and waiting because come December 1, it has to go back because nobody used it to open up nursing homes. There's a grant sitting there for the taxi cabs or buses or transportation. Now there's a lot of money in transportation, but nobody is coming up with the ideas. Nobody's submitting those grants. So that, guess what? The money has to be recirculated and it's not spent. But once those business ideas are pushed out there and sent out and it's approved, that's money you don't have to pay back. But once again, like, who would know that if you're now, and this one of those things, like you said, your state representative, if they're coming back when they leave the house and come back, when they leave here in Little Rock and they're coming back to your district and they're distributing that information, it should be a notice of when that meeting is being held, where y'all need to meet, what will be discussed. So therefore you will be able to govern yourself accordingly. You'll know where to show up, when to sit down, and know what questions to ask. You shouldn't have to drive all the way to Little Rock to get it.
Yeah. What I tell you, I thank you for coming on, giving us some insight on not just what is going on down in the northwest end of the state of Little Rock, but as you indicated, this is your home, Blytheville, Arkansas. And, by all means, you have just as much right to, as they say, give your little 2 cents as any other. We want you to know that we always consider you welcome back to your home. And so before I close, is there any other thing that you would like to offer?
I just would like to see more collaboration. Tony, you're doing an amazing job. I feel like the more that even those that are already in leadership position, if you all could, as men and women, could sit down at the table and listen to each other, not talk at each other, not talk over each other, and not talk beneath each other or benign. And I'm not blaming one person because we all are looked at the same. They all gonna talk about, they're gonna just say black folks. They ain't gonna say Tony. They ain't gonna say that person. They just gonna black folk. But I say this in love. I love y'all so much. And I just feel like that if that barrier can be pushed, because I see so much in you. I see so much in this person. If those people that have their hands already in the pile can collaborate together and get things done, Blytheville can be pulled out of the ditches. They can be pulled back into a land that can be recovered and restored. But it has to happen with unity. It has to happen. So that is my prayer for this great city. I'm calling it the great city of Blytheville. Okay.
All right. All right. Well,
All right.
Unity is key.
It's unity.
Anything, and without unity, we become so fragmented, going our different ways, and when that happens, nothing get accomplished. My sister,
when we got to stop this way until something happens. Consistency is a must. The people want to see consistency, and that's probably one of the problems that they're having because they're not seeing people coming to the. I promise you, when I was there, I knew everybody running for office because they showed up in the church during that time. After they got elected, you didn't see them.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Consistency.
Right. Tell me about it.
All right. I enjoyed you.
I thank you for coming on, helping us start it off, and you stay safe in Little Rock, and may God continue to bless you and your advocacy work as well. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my sister Joanne Bell from Little Rock, Arkansas. Of course, many of you know her. She got roots right here in Blytheville, Arkansas, and so I thank her for coming on. And I just want to talk to you all now. I done started it off. We had a guest to come on. We're not going to hold you long. I'm going to put some things on this board, and I want you to let me know exactly if you have any little 2 cents that you want to offer. All right. Before I start, I just want you to know though, whatever issue you have, you see that 4-letter word there? It's on the ballot. That's what you need to be thinking right now when you go and vote. that it be electricity, grocery store, infrastructure, schools, you name it, businesses, expansion. If you feel like that is something that is lacking in your community, then when you go and cast your vote, you need to be thinking it's on the ballot. Okay, let's talk about, we already done shared a little bit about the state representatives race. Let's talk about Osceola, Arkansas, okay? Osceola, Arkansas, okay. Expectation for your next council rep. I'm speaking to Osceola now. It shouldn't take long for somebody to come on and say something about what are your expectations, Osceola, as you go into picking your next rep for city council. Do you choose to stay with what you have had, or do you plan to look at something different? Okay, so you don't necessarily have to explain why you are against a particular candidate, but tell us why you support a candidate. I want to go over here and put some of the statements up. While I had my guests on, I did see some of you all that made some statements here. Try to find some of them. Here go one right here. I think, I don't know if this is a statement or a question. Brother Daniels, he had to step out for a minute, but I want to put his statement up here anyway. It said, with all the industry in Osceola, there is no reason we shouldn't have a grocery store. I've watched it, Jonesboro, steadily grow as Osceola has brought jobs, but not residents. Okay, now that is so true. You know, you take Big River Steel and some of the other local industry, they got what they call a reinvestment act. What that simply says is that for those who are set up to do business in your community, there is an expectation. I won't say that there is a law, but there is an expectation that for any businesses that are set up in your community, it just makes good sense that those businesses reinvest back into the community for which they make a profit. Okay, now that was from Brother Daniels, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Of course, that's my brother there, Johnny Wilkerson, same as in Blyver. You're so correct. And I know you're going to go ahead and shoot to us before this segment is over. Justice for Rayshawn Warren. As you can see, that poster behind me is going to stay there until we get justice for Rayshawn Warren. All right, we got Mr. Matt Chancery. He was my guest the other night. Man who spoke with some true passion. Okay, kind of hard to get a grocery store when the electrical costs are twice as much. So true. As I have said, if you take care of your electric rates, all right, if you take care of just your electric rates alone, only then will you have begun the process of saving your city. Because when you get your electric rates regulated to something that is considered common sense expense, then you can start getting not just grocery stores, but you can get other businesses to start relocating to Osceola, having a willingness to do business with Osceola. So electrical rates are really is key if you want to grow again, Osceola. Of course, let's see if we got any other statements over here. I'm gonna go through them, and then I'm gonna spend a couple more minutes on trying to open up to you all. And if I feel like I gotta beat that horse to make you speak, we're gonna conclude this broadcast. All right. Of course, Brother Daniel's got another one. Blyver and Osceola are just the Mississippi. Blyver and Osceola, just the Mississippi River waterway, put both at a huge advantage. Exactly. You know, Osceola, right before Dickie Kennymore went out, I think he was in the process of trying to set up some type of business out there on the riverport to where they got hold, they was approved of a grant money. It was like probably close to $500,000 that was that Osceola was to receive to go out there and do whatever things that needed to be done to try to perfect that riverport out there. And so that's it. That is a money-making business out there. And so you're so correct that we have as I indicated, we have the river, we have the interstate, we have the rail car. You know, we get the airports at both places, Blythe and Oxio, and so there's many ways that we can do business in terms of shipping our product to the customer. You know, at a rate that is very competitive to other cities around us. All right. Of course, let's see. Oh, that's my brother. How you doing there, Mr. John Williams? You doing all right, sir? Appreciate all the work you're doing as well, and I pray to God that you stay on the wall as well. Okay. That was Brother Daniels. He had to step out a little bit, but those pretty much all the questions that I have. And so I want to move back into my banner. Expectation of your next city council rep. And I'm going to close on this here. I'm going to run through it real quick. Should take me but about 10 minutes. Expectation from your next council rep. What we have to understand is that most of the time your city council has a duty to provide services for the municipality for which they sit as a council rep. All right. That it be things to do with sewer and wastewater. What are you talking about? Street and drainage. What is another thing? Mosquito spray, or whatever. All those water services or what have you. All those things that you pay for. All right. Police and fire. All right. Now, all the things that for as amenities that come in, you know, parks and recreation, the golf course, the dog pound, and all those things there, those are things that I would say that probably is secondary as it relates to your primary things like water, electricity, okay, sewer. Now, those things right there, garbage pickup, trash, and all that, those are things that I consider primary necessities that you need. All right. So, but when it comes to trying to help you bring industry, that's where we need our state officials to step up. You know, that they be state representatives or that they be state senators. We need their help on that. Those gonna take some heavy dollars, especially when it comes to just focusing on infrastructure alone. All right. So let's go and get about 1, 2, 3, 3 more up here. As I indicated, you know, we talked about jobs and economic. You know, here we are. You know, we get all these steel mills here in Mississippi County. The only question now is that why is the county look the way it looks? Okay, so now you gotta call into question what reinvestment that is being done from all these companies that operate here in Mississippi County. All right, steel mills and other businesses. You know, what are their taxes that they're paying? Are they paying their fair share? Okay, what reinvestment are they doing in terms of back into the municipalities to do some of those things where it's going to take extra funding? And so we need to look at that. Many of you who are yet looking for a job, Big River Steel is taxpayers' money, and they didn't do what they indicated that they want to do in terms of giving you a job. When you went and did all those things that was asked of you, ANC, that steel technology program that they had, to where when you complete that program, you will be in better position that when jobs are to be awarded, you can be in a position to where hopefully you will be given one of those jobs, you know, but unfortunately, we learned that that's not the case. All right. So that's what I had to speak about when it comes to jobs. You know, we talked about all those other things. You know, we talked about business, startup and expansion. We got to get our hands on the money and quit fooling around with this little peanut money. You know, coming home to want to give $500 for a feeding program, or you know, giving $200-300 over here for the old senior citizen, you know, live-in quarters or what have you. You know, doing those things for as buying a few accessories, if you will, that they be for the school or some other entity. You know, all of that is peanut money. Okay, we need to see some substance for business startup. We need our people to be in better position right now. Why don't we have a business school? Okay, why don't we have a business school right here in Mississippi County? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, ANC, you can get that down. Look, ANC, that's another subject that you don't want me to go into. When I say business startup, I'm talking about something that is community based. All right, community creation. There is no reason why certain men and women that live in the community can come together collectively and start a community based business startup expansion, if you will, group. I just say that group. You can give it whatever name you want to give it, but we need to create that. And also, Tamara Sanders, I think I indicated back a while, there need to be there need to be a board, a commission to do nothing but economics in terms of business startup and expansion. And so there's many things that we can do, but the question is, will we come together collectively, put our heads together and do that? All right, I'm getting ready to close. About three more, y'all. We talked about business, small business administration, growth, economics. We talked about that. What else was it? We talked about reasons why you support or oppose a candidate. Hadn't had anything from you all on that. You know, many of you need a house right now. Many of you are renting right now. You don't own your home. That is another program that you need to be calling upon your state officials in terms of making it possible for you to become a homeowner. All right, supporting your candidate for because of education. All right, so there's many things that when you go to the polls to vote, there's many things that you can think of while you're saying it's on the ballot. Okay, just like for example, let me find it real quickly. Right here, last but not least, you all know who I'm speaking to on this one. Oak Hill, Arkansas. Electrical rates in grocery store. You see those last four words? It's on the ballot. It's on the ballot. So hopefully you all will, when you get ready to go and cast your vote for the preferred candidate, one of the things that you need to be thinking, how can this council person who I'm about to vote for, do I vote for what we have now because I'm happy with it? And if I'm unhappy with it, am I willing to make a change? That's what is before you, OCO, elected rates in grocery store. This time of the year, as I say, I've been reading a few comments down there in OCO. There's been so many allegations where I've been hearing racism. I've heard violence. One candidate speaking of someone else to do him or her harm. And so it's just getting ridiculous, y'all, over an election. We need to use common sense. These candidates, no one is worthy of you going to jail for getting hurt. Y'all, we got about maybe 3 minutes left, and I'm getting ready to close out. And so hopefully you will make an intelligent decision tomorrow. Many of you who have not voted, that when you go vote tomorrow, please think smart and vote smart. If you want to see your city, if you want to see your county, if you want to see your state progress for the betterment, then you need to seriously give some consideration about change. Well, that's about all I have, ladies and gentlemen. many of you, please, just tuning in. I did start out with a video showing you how Jonesboro continue to prosper. Okay, economically, that is, job wise, business wise, you name it. Please, at the beginning of this broadcast that I did, pass the word and have them to go and listen to, I think it was something like a little over $2 million, I believe, that was awarded to Jonesboro, for development. And everything around us continue to be developed. And we continue to take that nosedive in ruin. As my guest stated, it's time out to quit supporting people because you like them. Nobody's telling you to hate them. But you must think of your children. Because when you leave here, me and you both, when we leave this world, our children going to have to deal with the mess that we left. So the question is, do we want to participate and work to build a better structure, if you will, in terms of jobs, education, businesses, becoming homeowners? They have to see that in you and I. They have to see that in you and I. And if they see that you are yet being somewhat idle, if you will, don't want to get involved, then that is the example that you're leaving. And so we continue to see us continue to stay in the gutter. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for tuning in today. Tomorrow, we're going to come on again. Going to try to meet with some of the candidates on my phone to see if I can get somewhat of an interview with them, asking them about how they feel the race is going. I also may talk to the winners, if there are any winners that prefer to speak. And also, for those who might want to give a concession speech, I also will open up, I welcome them as well. But anyway, you all, I thank you all for tuning in. As I say, catch us tomorrow. We may come on between when they finish casting the ballots, or when the polls close, excuse me. And so that's when we probably will come on. I think the polls close at, I want to say 7:30, somewhere in there. So when they close, that's when we'll come on. All right. So if there's nothing else to come before this body in terms of you, I say this body, but this broadcast in terms of you with your questions or whatever, I don't see any. So I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this segment and saying that may you all have a prosperous and blessed day. Stay safe. Continue to realize that we're yet in the pandemic. All right. God bless. Be safe. Peace and love. And God bless.